Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. Earlier this week, Nacon held a Connect event where they announced a bunch of new games that will be coming out this year. A couple of them caught my eye, and I think I'm definitely going to be doing content for them, so I felt I might as well do a video and talk about it here on the channel. First and foremost, we'll do the small one that we don't know a whole lot about. Terminator Survivor. I don't think I've talked about this before, but I'm actually a huge Terminator fan. My father was and made sure I saw all the movies, and so I've carried that into adulthood. So to see a fully fleshed out game that looks like it's going to have 4-player co-op in the Terminator universe actually sounds really cool. The timeline is going to be after Judgment Day, but before John Connor's revolution really gets started. And a lot of that timeline is unexplored territory. So it should be really, really easy to craft some nice stories that will be accessible for people new to Terminator lore, but at the same time have a lot of callbacks for people who are already familiar with the movies, the TV show, and some of the other properties that have come out. Definitely excited for this. You all who've been following the channel already know I kind of dislike survival games. I almost never play them. In fact, I was on one of Wolfhard FPS's streams last week. He was like, "Slandered, sooner or later we're going to get you into a survivor game." You know what? This might be it. This ends up even being halfway decent. I'll probably play it quite a bit, so I'm definitely excited about it coming out. I'll be tracking the updates for this game as Nacon releases more information. The other game that I'm really interested in is Greedfall II. I definitely played Greedfall 1, but I did it before I had a channel, so you won't find any content about it here. But I thought it was really interesting that it was different. I love games that allow you to combine guns and magic. And so even though it definitely had some weaknesses and honestly didn't feel like a complete game, I still enjoyed it and knew right as soon as I finished that I would play a sequel. And it looks like we're finally going to get one. Early access is going to come out in the summer, so I definitely plan to jump on that, and I'll do some content for the game when it comes out. They have released a few tidbits about Greedfall 2, and a lot of it sounds very interesting. First and foremost, as opposed to the first Greedfall game, which has you playing as someone from the mainland, which has been overrun by a plague, and coming to an island that is completely new to you and having to figure out the culture of the people that are already there. Instead, you're going to play as someone who comes from the island and has been taken as a slave and brought back to the mainland. And this game is actually set 3 years before Greedfall. So the mainland is essentially dealing with the ramifications of the plague that later on is going to push them all to try to find new lands. So I think there will be a lot of interesting stories that can come out of it. It's a really nice setup, and so I'm looking forward to what they're going to do with it. They've mentioned that some different things will be done as far as combat. The game is going to allow you to control a 4-player party. So as opposed to beforehand where you really controlled yourself and you just had a couple of people with you who kind of did what they wanted, now it looks like you're going to have full control, and they want combat to be more tactical. Not sure what that means yet, but it should be really interesting. They also said the game is going to be non-linear, and it can have several endings based on your decisions and based on which factions you side with. There are going to be multiple factions, and some of them will be similar to the factions that were available in Greedfall, but they said there will be some new options as well, and romances will also be available. So it seems like the companions are going to be fully fleshed out with their own quest, and you'll be able to upgrade them and figure out their weapons and armor, things of that nature. So this is much closer to the types of games that I like, as opposed to Greedfall, which streamlined a lot of these systems. So definitely interested in this and looking forward to being able to play it. They said overall there's a much greater focus on exploration in Greedfall 2 than there was in Greedfall 1. So it seems like they're going to take a lot of the things that didn't go right with, so it seems like they're going to take a lot of the things that were kind of weaker in that game and make them stronger for this go round. At least that's what they're saying. We'll see if it's the case. Once again, I will absolutely do content for this game, and I'm looking forward to it coming out. So exciting stuff down the pipeline. It doesn't look like it's going to be a huge year for gaming, but there's still some decent things coming out that I'm definitely excited for and looking forward to playing. Let me know down in the comments if you all are excited for either one of these games or maybe something else that was announced during the Connect event, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.